Always forget I have to hit the go live button. All right. What's up, everybody? Sorry about that. I forgot I had to hit the go live button. All right. I'll give everybody just a moment here, and we will get going. Alrighty, so just a few more seconds here and we will go over the news and get into charting and looking into some potential plays going into tomorrow. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Thank you, everybody, for leaving a like. If you guys are on YouTube, I appreciate it. The algos do too. All right, so mostly had a ETF green day. I went over the ETFs after hours. Also, guys, I'm gonna have to keep it a little bit short. Hurricane or something, Elsa is supposed to let it go on our ass. So, Sujit, just hit the link in the bio of YouTube, or if somebody in the Discord wants to drop a link in the chat here, I can do that in just a second. Actually, hold on. I actually have that up right now. Okay. There's the Discord link. Okay. Anyway, so we saw crude oil pulled back about 1.7%. As the UAE and the OPEC are in a deadlock right now. Materials marched or pulled up 1.04% despite their recent sideways trend. Negg, the commercial stock, soared 148%. Those of you who took any of those options today, absolutely, I will chart Tesla after news and some of the recap here. So anyway, Negg, if you guys caught that one, was crazy. Of course, this was related to more meme stock. This was no shorts available to short, so they took advantage of that opportunity and they shot that thing up. It's already marched over 148% with the previous day's gains as well. So, Fed officials right now are divided over the economic signals at the central bank's June meeting. Right now, that was just a headline. The S&P up 0.34%, NASDAQ basically up 0.0%, or 0.01%, Russell up 0.95%, and the Dow up 30%. Right now, let's see here, Planet Labs struck a deal today with MY. It's vaulting the satellite network at $2.8 billion. Yeah, SPY is due for a pullback. But anyway, the announcement comes just after the Cantor Fitzgerald CF Acquisition Corp picked up another satellite company for $1.1 billion. DMYQ and CFV are the latest SPACs enticing space-related mergers, and they're following in VACQ and SRAC Qs. Those are tickers, footsteps. So keep an eye on space tickers, of course, with Jeff on the 11th going into space. We have positions on that, just kind of hanging around, but yeah, so. All right. So let's see here. Yeah, I was going to say, so Newegg is actually up 522% over the last couple of days. Other than that, headlines, that kind of closes up. Let's see here. Checking the back of the sheet. By the way, I didn't know this, but PAL's term expires in February of next year. Interesting. Also, I don't know if this is any type of relevant news, but Trump is suing all of the big tech giants. If nobody saw that, I don't know if that will affect any stocks or if he has a case. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get to charting a few of the tickers that we are watching. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the major ETFs. Right now we're looking at the Qs. This looks relatively self-explanatory in regards to where our potential target is on the Qs. So we're just pretty much channel trading here, and I still have that target remaining. And I mean, I've tried kind of like pulling this back down to see if maybe we hit it today, but I still think that there is a potential that we hit. And looking at the flow, I think I'm not too far off on this level, but 365, and I spoke about that level today, at most 367. But looking at the flow, coming in towards the end of the day, 356 was the majority of the calls that were coming in. So it seems like the majority, yeah, so that was around 12 o'clock, is that 356 calls. So they're already in the money. And then we had 360 puts coming in as well. So there seems to be a little bit of indecisiveness, but the 356 calls at 11:41 had a golden sweep, and that was for this expiration, and that was at $1.6 million. So I'm curious to see if we do get a bounce tomorrow. Now, this it's still holding the 9-day moving average, which is super duper important for me. In order to maintain that bullish sentiment. Holderman indicator still showing me strength. The RSI is the only indicator right now that is really showing a potential pullback. But that being said, we've seen it run a little bit higher. All in all, if we do see a pullback tomorrow, 356 would actually be where I would expect to see a bounce on the Qs. So that's where the 9-day moving average is, and that is the most respected bullish moving average that we have. So I do expect, yes, and it's $60. If you want to hop on our YouTube, I will go over Neo and chart it for you. Excuse me, and I'll hurry up and quit blabbering about the ETFs. But anyway, so I do expect a little bit of a pullback looking at the way that certain stocks closed today. We did have some hold up and bounce back from those levels. NVIDIA did have a pretty pretty lit. I'm going to have to use that word, pullback today, and deleting all of these lines, you can kind of see why. One second. So it had this ascending wedge here, and it pulled back as well. Microsoft, same thing, but it actually held up towards the end of the day, and in aftermarket held 280. And if you guys watched my Microsoft video that I posted every month, what the main goal for Microsoft is to hold that 280 level. Now, one thing that is concerning me is that we do have the 9-day moving average still hovering around 271. So as long as we stay consolidated on this like channel line right here, or this upper resistance, then that's cool with me in order to wait for a bounce on the Qs. But that one's showing a little bit of resilience in the face of a pullback with the Qs. Apple still finishing bullishly, but again, and I'll go over this a little bit more in depth in a second, I am potentially short on this tomorrow. And for those of you who know what this is, you already know probably what I'm about to say. All right, so let's go over SPY. SPY finished holding up. Yesterday we had a pretty intense pullback back to the 292, or tapping the 230 level, pulled right back up, and then today we saw it rebound and hold a new high. So just barely holding that 234.60 level. And again, looking at Apple and looking at SPY, a little bit early to tell, but SPY could pull back one more time to that 232 level, 232.85 level, and then bounce back up and then make kind of this wedge here, where we could see Apple play. And I'm not expecting Apple to like pull back, but I do expect that hourly setup there to kind of play out that way. Okay. Yeah, so if I zoom out a little bit, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Looks like that rising wedge is potentially going to form here, which would play into what that Apple setup as well. Looking at the Dow, so we talked about the potential retest this morning. This one rebounded off of that channel retest and is trying to climb back up over the 200, or excuse me, the whole ribbon indicator. This right here, this level that it's rejecting, that's the 347 level. That's where we need to break. Tomorrow, if we can make it around 347.35 and push with some volume, then watch a couple of the industrial stocks. But right now, industrials and airlines have been taking a beating for the most part. Shit. Okay. Let's see here. Let's look at IWM. All right. So the Russell today. I talked about the trend line break. This is that. It's actually a lower time frame trend line, but regardless, this is broken. So right now we are at a bounce level. So if IWM can make a break for it, and I have this hourly trend line set up, and it makes it a little bit more clear here. So what I'm looking for tomorrow is if this, and you can see this big green candle here, showing a little bit of strength on that bounce. Excuse me. So tomorrow I'm looking for, and I'm going to go set an alert on it now, 225.20. I'd like to see IWM try and break that, show a break in downtrend for a potential recovery. If not, expect for a rejection around that 224.25 level, where this one will likely go and try and take a stab at that low of 221.80. So Okay. What is the indicator on the cues? Which one? The whole ribbon indicator? So that is, and I'll just explain it if that's what you're asking. In the most simplistic terms, if I'm not sure if that's the way you were, but this is using two moving averages. I believe it's the SMAs, or it might be the HMA, excuse me. But what it does is it gives you an idea of how strong or the strength behind certain moves. So think of it like, the 9-day moving average. If you're above these moving averages, you're usually bullish. The wider the ribbon, the more momentum behind that move. So you can see here when it starts to stagger a little bit, you see the ribbon start to thin. So whole ribbon, HULL. With Joe Show. Yeah, for sure. Not a problem. I can do that. HUL. So, and you can see here too, as the ribbon thins, it trades in range, right? So, not really able to hold above it, not really able to hold below it. But as of recently, this whole ribbon did pick up a little bit of momentum. But like I said, you close below that whole ribbon, usually you're going to see some downside. So it's respected like a moving average, but is used as almost like a buy-sell indicator in a way. Somewhere like this where you see that whole ribbon indicator turn green, you can tell that momentum is starting to shift in the right direction. And then as a long-term holder, if it's thinning, while it's red, you know that there's not much strength to the downside. So, okay. Well, that's about it. For me anyway, as far as the ETFs are concerned. So I swung Lulu. I don't know if anybody took this trade. This one I took the 380 calls for next week. It just has a good setup on the daily. If you look at the daily, it's coming off of this long break in downtrend. Really nice momentum. Recently, as of July 6th, retested that 9-day moving average. So I'm expecting, and you can see usually when it gets a test of that 9, it'll soar and make a pretty significant new high. The only thing that's relatively concerning is the RSI and the volume. Those are relatively low, but I will be looking to potentially add to my position if we end up pushing to 280 tomorrow, or 380 tomorrow, excuse me. So again, has the look as if it's going to move with some continuation today, climbing back above that whole ribbon indicator on the 4-hour and the 9-day moving average there. So looking for continuation on Lulu. I'll probably go over this trade as well tomorrow. Oh shit. Okay. So Aapl. Gonna be on my watch tomorrow. Okay, so I can show you this on the 4-hour. And I can also show you this, and here's the thing. We've had, and you can take this little green doji out of the equation, but we've pretty much had a, let's see, I don't know, 1, 2, that's after hours, so 3, 4, I'm looking at this as the 4-hour, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive green candles. Now, Aapl is moving on high volume, but with any move like this, you have to expect. Look at the 9-day moving average, still hovering around 137. VWAP currently, if I go down to the 4, yeah, just resting above VWAP, but VWAP has just recently flatlined as well. So what I'm looking at here on the hourly, and I'm going to close VWAP out. A rising wedge. So tomorrow, what I'm going to be watching for is a break below that 9-day moving average, and I'm really curious why. Hold on one second, sorry guys. I need my EMAs. Okay, that'll do for now. So I like to use these as kind of liquid moving averages or supports. My mouth is so dry right now. A break of the 9-day moving average or a break of 144.35. I'm going to be eyeballing starting a position in a short. Phil, no, I don't like to write it out. So with options that are close expiration, I'm looking to utilize them, with strong movements. 377 to 380. If we get a gap up anywhere around there, I'll likely take profit on the majority of those contracts. I only grab 5, so maybe 3 of those, and then from there, I can kind of decide on whether or not I want to add to my position with weeklies and optimize profit there. But no, I'm not looking to ride it all the way out until Friday. If I see really, really great momentum, I may leave that one original contract to run. But otherwise, that I'm okay with the profits. So as long as they come. Okay. Let's see here. So anyway, below the 9-day moving average, right around the 144.25, 144.30 level. Looking to take this for a starter position to 143.50. That's going to be the first level that I'm watching. And what may happen here is we may pull back, and this is going to be a really key level. Is 143. So this is not a short, like a crazy short, but we'll be paying close attention. So in if we open, this all depends on where we open up. If we open up somewhere around here, still in the trend, then there may be a good chance that we reject at the bell and we just break down from there and then bounce around the 142.85 level, somewhere in there. So that's where I'm watching Aapl. So maybe take this to 142.85, 75. We'll watch price action, watch volume, and of course be taking profit. So if you guys are, I'm taking this tomorrow, and I'm going to be making sure that with the movement that I saw today, that I'm being very careful. I'm not scared, but I am not going to risk a lot of profits. It is a short week, so it's something to keep in mind. Alrighty, thunderstorm's getting close. Okie dokie. So Microsoft. This one showing resilient strength could be because of the cloud news. And here's the thing: a lot of people think because it got awarded or got taken away from Microsoft that this is a bad thing. I don't think so. I think they're just fine. To be honest with you, if anything, they're likely still going to get a piece of the pie. But that being said, similar setup here, but a little bit more bullish. So Microsoft has been moving a little bit divergent from the market, but similar setup from Microsoft. So tomorrow above 281. If you're not already in, then you don't need to be getting in because we know we have a resistance there. So that's what I'm watching tomorrow, is that 281 break. From there, guys, we know where we're at on the daily. Really, really large, and let me fix this a little bit. Really big daily setup here, guys, that could take us all the way to 300. And I always find it funny that these channels end at those whole numbers. So you see by July, by the end of July, and it could even be just a little bit longer, but by the end of the July, we could see Microsoft, if the market makes a strong move, somewhere near 300. So I have been I played Microsoft on my trading view. I called it around I think it was around 247, and so I've been long on it since then. It had a 3 or 4 large bounces off of a daily support. I saw that Nancy Pelosi had made a rather large purchase, and so I went long on there. But you can check out my trading view if you want to see. I posted actually trading view, not shared it but liked it and commented on it. It was lit. All right, so I want to take a look at BABA. The majority of the flow of today was kind of bullish, or bearish, excuse me. I checked on that in after hours. There's the storm, boy. Okay, so I must have had a filter on there. Wow. So we got $200 puts for 318.22. That's a long ass way. That could be definitely be a hedge. We have 7/16s, 210 puts, which obviously those climbed down, and those came in at 210.13. But we do have 212 and 215 calls that came in towards the end of the day. Not a lot of premium towards those, and those were relatively cheap. I think that's something really important to kind of look at. Don't, like, just because you see flow doesn't mean that the flow is good. You know, people with a lot of money do dumbass shit too as well. So, but again, those are $71, $83, and $44 for those contracts that the guy purchased. So, it's not like that person's putting a crazy amount of money, I guess, into those contracts and perspective. So my mouth is so dry right now. I'm sorry, guys. It is about to storm pretty hard. It's like lightning everywhere. Pretty lit. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at Baidu now. So again, this is for Baidu, for BABA. All of these are it's at a relatively strong level, so I don't even have to show you guys. You guys can probably see it. This one heading down with a little bit more momentum than last time. You can see back when we played it in April, going into, let's see here, May, this thing has just kind of chopped around, not showing a ton of strength. But since its climb over the 200-day moving average and its retest of 210, it's pretty much just started to spill over with a rounded top. That being said, it does have, it's pretty oversold on the RSI, and momentum starting to slow down. So tomorrow, seeing as the 9-day moving average is still around 187.55, there is the potential on things like Baidu and BABA that we could see a small bounce, but it could only be a simple retest, as we've had several steps down in the last couple of trading sessions. So we started at 207, and right now we are currently at 182.50 on Baidu and BABA. But a lot of these are breaking decent setups as well, so I'm curious to see if we're going to continue to see downside. But I've learned my lesson before. about getting too thirsty on the downside and getting caught or trying to guess where that is. So I just play momentum and breaks when I see them. So right now, if we did end up breaking on Baba, right now it's sitting same thing with Baidu, sitting at a pretty key level. If it breaks 208, I'm going to be watching that 206 level for a potential scalp. But all in all, the target could end up being 204, excuse me. I got my key off. Excuse me, 205. So 205 on the dot. So I will be watching that one. And I think that those that $200 put that came in going into next year is more than likely somebody protecting their investment rather than looking to take a long ass swing trade to the downside. Thanks, man. Okay. So what do you guys said you guys wanted to look at? Hello? I got it. I'll get it in a minute, actually. Let's see here. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Tesla. So this is one of the things about technical analysis is just because it looks like it's gonna do something, that's why we have to look at the numbers. If I'm not mistaken, do we have delivery numbers coming on Tesla? First week of July. Anybody have that number? 2 weeks? Okay. Well, in the meantime, and I excuse all the little lines, but I've been playing Tesla on and off through this last move. So bilateral pattern here, triangle, and we broke to the downside. And one of the things that was kind of concerning, and I went and double checked my resistance, but that resistance, which we did get a bounce, ended up rejecting the 9-day moving average and pulling back down under. Right now we are at the 200-day EMA. If we do not get a bounce, which if we get a bounce tomorrow, watch 650. That's likely where we'll see a bounce on Tesla. Wait, they came last week? Hold on one second. That's right. So that's in August though, right? Why am I tripping right now? I could have sworn somebody told me that we were in the chat. All right. Well, regardless, just looking at the chart. So right now, we've seen the 3 bounces that we got off of Tesla's previous support line, and this resistance, which, like I said, we did not hold, that resistance turns support, is likely where we may retest tomorrow. If we can't climb back under above that, then more than likely we're going to continue to the downside, and more than likely, and just my first target, if we do continue to pull back on Tesla, is right down to 630. If we break 630, the next support is around 615, and it's crazy because that's where my dynamic support is, rather than like my linear one. But it lines up with that linear support. So, thanks. Okay, so and let's look at it on the hourly just so we can get a better look. So it's pretty obvious setup here. probably around 641.50. You can start looking at that wick fill to 638.35, and then your break there's quite a bit of space all the way down to that 630 level. So if Tesla pulls back tomorrow, the only thing that I'm looking at right here is the RSI. So like I said, watch out for a bounce and a retest of 650 first. So don't get too over eager on that play until you see confirmation, if you're taking it to the downside. Bit of a bear flag, just to keep it simple. Okay, so Amazon having and really Justin is the GOAT with Amazon, but same channel. Yeah, sure, I can show you where I got that number. Okay. Oh, wait, never mind. So check. So if I set this number right here, right? We're looking for multiple levels of respect, or rejection zones, right? So in this case, if we look at that 630 level, and we look at where this, and this is pulled off of my support that I was that daily support. But if we break that 630 level, that dynamic support would have us right underneath here. And let me show you. So right where this consolidation happened, think of it less like a level and more like a little zone. So the zone between 630 and 615, and that lines up, right, if we were to continue to fall, with right around where Tesla would probably retest, and it could be even like where it wicks down and then buyers pull it back up onto support. But it doesn't look good. Breaking a bearish or a bullish pattern to the downside, especially on a major setup like this, is never a good sign. So how close is the storm, Peyton?
It's about over us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Kind of moved towards us.
Okay. I thought I was supposed to come with the heat. Alright, NVIDIA. Okay, so I covered this one briefly, and I'm going to go ahead and just remove these drawings. Does that make sense, Phil? Okay, so here's what, and I want you guys to also keep in mind that the Qs still have further to go. So I don't think that NVIDIA is going to just completely spill over. It still has plenty of time until that split occurs. So if it does pull back, and with Aapl and NVIDIA, what's up, Georgie? With Aapl and NVIDIA, both of those, or excuse me, not Aapl, Aapl and Tesla, when the split was announced, right? They moved. The volatility on them was crazy. I think some people tried to call it the top, and buyers were just extremely aggressive. So on certain days, you would see a reversal pattern on an hourly time frame or a 4-hour time frame, and it may play out halfway and then just scream in the other direction. So I do not want to play NVIDIA against the grain too much. So the main level that I would watch is probably, and here's the thing, shorts can get taken advantage of as well. If retail shorts exist, so if somebody thinks that they see this bearish setup and, oh, England won? Nice. That's cool, man. I don't follow the football. There must be like a ton of every storm. It's like there's just sirens the whole time. It makes it way more dramatic. Oh, but everybody's okay though. So, anyway, so a couple of different levels on NVIDIA. Excuse me. Okay, I think that was it. What?
You purchased the car on the other side, right?
Huh?
You purchased the car on the other side, right?
I did.
On the not close to the house?
Justin, don't do this now.
Here.
What?
You parked it on
Yes, I parked it. I parked it in the middle of the street. On the yellow lines, right? The dashed yellow lines. Were you? Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see here. Anyway, sorry guys. 805.35. That's where I would watch for a break or the break of 805. If you drop down there, you have a little micro level at 7. It looks like 795, right on the dot. And then directly below there is 785. Now, one of the reasons why I want to stress that you guys mark these small levels is because things like NVIDIA, they're going to pull back while they're going into this split. But I know that Manny said that he thinks that it may not continue to go to the upside, and we don't know why people would continue to buy at these levels. But here's the thing: humans are cyclical, and for the most part, people are going to continue to push this thing to the upside until the day before the split, just like Tesla and just like everything else. I could be wrong, but short term looks a little bit short. Long term looks like a stock split, and it's gonna rip. So, but of course we'll be watching for that bounce as well. So. Okay, so let's see here. Amazon, NVIDIA, Tesla. Didn't I already cover Amazon? I totally skipped over it, didn't I? I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, so the channel here that we've been trading with on Amazon, we had a nice breakout today. A little bit of a pullback. Like I said before, with any breakout, I usually like to wait for those moving averages to kind of catch up with the actual price. So expect a little bit of consolidation here at the 36 level, guys. We literally ripped from 35.30 all the way to basically $100 move, and after that you have to expect a little bit of consolidation, which this consolidation started, and you could even go off this high all the way back in September of last year. So getting close to almost a year's worth of consolidation. More than likely they do that on purpose so that Jeff Bezos doesn't have to deal with constant articles about him being the richest man on the planet again. But regardless, and we talked about this trend line too, kind of squeezing it up. But anyway, I'm still bullish. I think Justin is as well. So honestly, until I see how we open tomorrow, and as long as we can hold the 36.70 level, then I would expect Amazon to continue to the upside. So I don't know if yeah, I did. Oh God. Georgie. Anyway, so right now everything remaining relatively bullish for Amazon. Held up nicely today, filled its gap today, and then continued to hold that high. So watch for consolidation. When is earnings? All right. Let's see here. Amazon. I got a few more minutes here, guys. What was the other one that you had? Tesla, Amazon, NVIDIA. Okay, we already got those. Anybody else have any other requests? Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I already charted this, apparently. I don't remember doing these things. Sometimes I wonder if I sleep chart or some shit. I just wake up sometimes. Joseph. Nice. Yeah, I was wondering why not a lot of people call me G. It seems really instinctual, though. Doesn't it, Pete?
What?
People calling me G.
Yeah. I do too.
I call Peyton P. But only because people
Or
say it's
PP.
gross. Or
They
PP.
ask, why do you do that?
I call her PP, bro. And my son is like, why do you call mom that?
Because people have been calling me that since I was little.
Oh, God. There's no reason to do that, you know, because why? It's like somebody calling me Gigi. There's no two G's.
No, remember my other names? Paper, Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Petrid Farms. Cookies. Okay, so STEM had a what looks to be a kind of a longer rising wedge here. Looking at the daily. So you broke a downtrend here. Did something trigger this? Because right now, you look as if you are about to head back down, more than likely to this 31 level. Yeah, I see games getting talked about in After Hours. Peyton, how much money do I have to pay you to get me some water? $1,000. Can I have one of your root beers?
$2,000.
Okay.
That's so much.
I'll put it in your... I'll YOLO it into Nicola calls tomorrow. Sorry, guys. I'm like dehydrated. That's what I need. Root beer. That'll do it. Anyway, so 31.25 is going to be that first level. 31. I would expect a pullback there. You have this bearish reversal pattern. So again, 31.60, and then 31 on the dot. What the hell is even that? Grassy ass. I think it's just following that whole SPAC trade, which was getting crossed today. So yeah, that's something that I'm just looking at the technicals, but it looks like that buildup has been setting up for a long time. I mean, this is a very bearish rising wedge. It's where you get buyers to continuously try and push a new high, but you can see that day after day they barely make a new high, as shorts take positions. So game. Oh my gosh, what is this? You mean to chart this, Georgie? What is this? The chart Olympics? This is ridiculous. I don't know. I'm not going to make up anything, but I mean, it just looks like a break of a previous high of 1345 off strong volume. I have no idea what this is. I do know that it's being talked about a lot. Probably it's something squeeze related. On the hourly, looks like it's closing with a bull flag. So I would say that if you hold 1350, that game looks pretty sweet. So. DBGI. It doesn't get charted. It's outside of the realms of charted. I could say that for the same for this one. What the hell is even that? There you go. There you go. That's it. You just made a new pattern name too. Again, looks like it really wants to hold the 420 or 430 level. It opened up 520. So yeah, really the $5 level is probably where it's just really trying to hold. So more than likely, if you can close above the 9, I would just rely on, or not rely, but keep your eyes peeled for a recovery over there. But this thing is kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Is this after hours movement? Did this happen in after hours? Just curious, because this thing just maybe be on the realm of charting as well. Okay, there's a wedge, a little falling wedge reversal. So I don't know. Look for a continuation going into tomorrow. I think it's the craziest shit. Okay. Well, lightning is getting relatively close to my house. So I am going to hop off. I will more than likely be here in the morning as long as Hurricane Elsa doesn't go Hulk mode or anything crazy. Otherwise, 8:45. So if you guys want to be there, those of you who are not in the Discord. But thank you guys again for leaving a like. And I'll be watching stuff in pre-market, news in pre-market, and more than likely have a watch list for you guys as well. By the way, before I leave, yeah, so in EGG, hitting a high of 78.95 today. I may play puts on it tomorrow. May. Not I'm not sure yet, so yeah. And if anybody wants to download the game Chivalry and play when you have free time, that's where I spend my free time. Alright guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Peace.